We're back. We are back. We are back because college football is back. Week one is upon us. Welcome back to the Sports Analyst Podcast. I'm Jared Call. This is my co-host Jessa Call. Jessa, how are we doing?
So good. It's week one. I know we said we survived yesterday. I mean, sorry, last week. But this week has moved even slower now because we've got
Oh,
like 100 games to watch and they're really, really good matchups, which we'll get into, but I'm doing great.
I love it. I love to hear it. Love to hear it. You may notice a little bit of the different background. This is from the Ohio State Iowa game last year that me and Kylie and Kevin went to with Jenny and one of Kylie's friends that is now a gymnast, a national champ gymnast at Ohio State. Lillian Jennerjohn, look her up. Anyway, they wore the gray
Nice.
jerseys. They're in Carmen, Ohio. I'm also repping the Jack Sawyer. Let me turn off my background really quick.
Yeah, we
Um,
got we got to get the whole picture here.
Yep. So this is my Jack Sawyer jersey. I got it after the national championship run. I don't even know if you can see this. It's got
What a
like the
legend.
patch on it and everything. It is from China, and so it is literally a dress. Look at how far this comes down. Like the numbers should be like right here if it's a normal jersey, but no, it's a dress. I don't
No.
really need to be wearing shorts right now, but I am. It's family friendly programming.
Love it.
Anyway,
You gonna rock that this season? Like on game days and everything?
oh yeah, oh yeah, especially this week because Jack Sawyer's history with the Texas Longhorns. Anyway, we'll get into all that. Just so let's kick things off with a hot take. It sounds like we both have one this week, so why don't you kick us off with one?
Okay, this one's like maybe a hot take, but also I think it's more just something I need to get off my chest. I
Both are okay.
obviously both of us consume a lot of college football content, right? And so
Yeah,
I'm listening to as much as I can't stand him, Joel Klatt,
of
um,
course.
Josh Pate, right? ESPN. I'm listening to just everything that I can while I'm working and everything.
Of
And I picked up on a theme this week that is making me angry, and it always has, but it has to do with brand bias. And
course, of
it
course.
is this. Uh, a lot of the mainstream media assume that blue blood teams, if they have a weakness one season, oh, they'll just fix it in the off season and it won't be an issue anymore. Yeah, because they have the resources and they have everything they need to magically change their entire defense or their entire offense. And it's cool because it's LSU and USC. So, um
Are you saying their defenses aren't gonna be just magically better this year?
I mean, great case study, great question. USC, right? Lincoln Riley, known for his offense. With Caleb Williams, they literally didn't have a defense when Lincoln Riley, head coach of USC, got there. Um, and so when Caleb Williams did well and when that team was winning, they literally had to put up 56 points. Like they were the number top three scoring offense because they didn't have a defense. Well, that was 4 years ago. And every offseason, people are like, oh, but their defense can't be as bad as it was last year, though, because it's USC. There's no
There's
way
no
they're not going to
way.
invest in their defense, right? Well, that is evidence that you have to actually do stuff and you have to make fundamental changes to change your weaknesses. I don't care what your logo is, right? And I'm seeing this with LSU right now. LSU
Mm,
in the Brian Kelly era has had a terrible defense.
yep.
Like so bad.
Historically
So,
bad.
yeah, especially in the secondary, which is so weird because if you think about LSU and you think about the NFL guys that come from
DPU.
LSU, yeah, exactly. Like they just haven't been good in the Brian Kelly era for whatever reason.
Yep.
So there's, I heard Josh Pate say, "There's no way LSU. I expect LSU to be better on defense because they can't get much worse this year." Like that is such lazy reporting.
Yep.
That is such
100%.
lazy reporting. Just assume that they're going to be bad, like you do to every other team.
Right.
So that's my hot take. That's what's angry. That's what's angering me. And yeah, that's that. But okay, so that's mine. Yours has to do with a BYU opponent. Yes?
Yes, it does. Indeed. Indeed. I believe that Stanford, if they care about their football program at all, should fire Frank Reich before he even wakes up from bed in the morning. He actively tried to lose the end of that game against Hawaii. He it was the most brain dead coaching decisions I have ever seen in the last 5 minutes from a head coach. They were running the football. Their quarterback, literally a plumber. Okay, this man is probably okay. He went to Stanford. He's not a plumber. He's probably like some like medical surgeon genius. Okay, has he ever played football before? I don't know. Okay, he went out there, stunk it up. It's a tie ball game with 5 minutes left. And what does Stanford do when they get the ball back? They've been running the ball for like 5 yards a pop all game. They just throw the ball like 3 times. The quarterback throws a stupid, idiotic pick. Okay. I I just can't understand. Okay. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is literally like the opposite of what you should do when you coach football. Okay. But that's not even the worst part. Then, and I mean, everybody's already seen this, but I'm just hashing it out because I need to get this off my chest.
No, actually, I was at a wedding and did
That's
not see
right.
this. So this is
That's
really
right.
good. I caught the highlights, but this story is helping. Yeah.
Okay, so Hawaii gets the ball. Okay, tie ball game. It's right before the 2 minute warning. They get the ball. They're marching. Alejado, their quarterback, low key, exactly how I want Bear Bachmeier to play. Just leave it 100% out on the field. Don't give a shiz what anybody else says. Just ball out. And he leads them into field goal range. Okay, Stanford has all three timeouts. Okay, they have all three timeouts, and Hawaii gets into field goal range, and it's like not even a hard kick. And yes, their kicker, like the Japanese kid that learned how to kick on YouTube and then moved to Ohio because they didn't want to be by any that spoke Japanese. Very cool story. Obviously, Stanford's probably thinking this guy can't make a field goal to save his life. He's never kicked before in a game. Blah blah blah. Right? You have all three timeouts and a team is within field goal range. You know that they're not going to take a risk with the football. They're not going to throw. You burn every single one of those timeouts. You get the ball back with a minute and a half left, and you run 2 minutes to either tie the ball game or score. The coach, Frank Reich, did nothing. He actively sat and watched the clock go to 2 seconds and then waited for the field goal kicker to come out, calls the timeout to ice him, right? When was the last time you saw somebody ice the kicker successfully? He calls a timeout to ice him with 2 seconds left. Guy makes the chip shot field goals, and Hawaii wins the game. It was the most insane decision I have ever seen. Literally, there's no world in which you live where you just let the team kick the game-winning field goal. You have to
Did
call your timeouts to get the ball back to try and answer.
did they end the game with two timeouts?
Yeah, it
Oh my gosh.
it absolutely blew my mind. He was actively trying to lose the game. He did not try to win the game. Like I I do not understand why he didn't try and get the ball back. It was insane. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I
just had
can't
to get
believe
that off
that.
my chest. Had to get it off. Um, BYU is going to wax them. I don't care if BYU scores 2 points against Portland State. Stanford is actively trying to lose. And so, as bad as we hate A-Rod and this coaching staff for their sportsmanship, we are not actively trying to lose games. We are just incompetent when it comes to winning games. But at least we're not trying to lose. So we are going. I am never felt more confident about the Stanford football game. That's it. That's my take.
Love it. 2-0 then. 2
Yep.
and 0.
2
BYU
0.
Cougs.
2 0.
Ben Gulbranson, that Stanford
Yes.
quarterback you were speaking so highly of. You want to hear his stats for this game against the stout Hawaii defense?
Right.
Um,
Known for their
uh,
defense.
yep, 109 yards passing, zero touchdowns, and one interception. You know what his QBR was? Just give a
Oh,
guess.
60.
13.2. I kid you not. So him against what should be a really good, competent BYU defense. I fear for his life, and actually, I fear for the life of all QBs. If all of their QBs, if that's the best they have. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm with you.
It's
Fire him.
brutal.
He didn't. Yeah.
Brutal. Let's do a quick week zero recap. Jessa, what games were you able to catch? I know you were busy much of the day. What were you able to see? What stood out off the page to you?
Two games I was able to catch were, well, I mean, I went back and watched the highlights for all the games, but Iowa State, Kansas State, caught every snap of that one. Um,
Messy.
yeah, and then UNLV and Idaho State, which we can talk a little bit about both of those, but let's start with the Iowa State, Kansas State. What were your biggest takeaways from that game?
I'm done with Avery Johnson. Don't care. People are saying it's not his fault. He played better than Rocco Beck. Don't care. Out. Done. Not good. I have no faith in Kansas State in winning a game that they need to win. I'm done.
Yeah. I thought that Avery Johnson was supposed to be this dynamic runner. I thought that was his his whole thing, and I have yet to see it. He rushed for one of our bets was over under 54 and a half rushing yards
Oh yeah,
in a rain game. So you'd
yeah.
think,
You'd think
right?
he
They'd
wouldn't
let
throw the
him run the ball.
football.
No, he ran for like 29 yards
Well,
and did not play exceptionally well either.
and 12 of those yards came on the read option touchdown in like the first quarter. So you're telling me he ran for like 15 other yards the entire rest of the game?
Yeah. He's not a better passer than anybody else in the Big 12 by any means. There are
Not
like
even
I could name
close.
five better passers just off the top of my head. And so I'm with you. At what point are we still talking? Why are we still talking about Avery Johnson as like this?
1000%.
Yeah, he doesn't win games for them. I would argue that
No.
he loses games for them.
Right?
Uh, so yeah, I'm with you. That was yeah, weird.
And again, like I said, trust your eyes, not the media, right? That was one of my points last week. When I watch Avery Johnson, that nothing instills confidence in me that he's going to lead them down the field. There's no times where I'm like, that was a slick play. Like 95% of his completions are either checkdowns or on that completely busted coverage, right? Like that's the only reason the game was close is because Iowa State busted a coverage and Avery Johnson like put it within a mile of the guy.
Yeah,
Nothing instills faith in me in Avery Johnson. I'm done. I'm out. They are a non-competitive when it comes to like being in the top tier of the Big 12.
yeah, I was definitely more impressed with Rocco Becht, even though
Yes.
neither of them looked like Rocco didn't look exception like great either. Had some ball security issues, right?
Yep.
But he looked better.
Oh,
Um,
1000% looked better.
with Iowa State, their defense, their secondary especially, looked bad. They looked bad.
Yeah.
And maybe number one on Kansas State is really that guy and really that dude because he just ate them apart in the second half, especially. Actually, probably the whole game. But I was not impressed with Iowa State's secondary. So that's my other takeaway. Is
Yeah.
that I don't know if they fix that, but I got a little bit more confident about the Iowa State game after watching that yesterday as well. Much
I
more confident? Not really, but
I I I have been writing that game off as a complete loss because it's the week after Utah and it's right before bye week. Like this is the Kansas game except it's a good team, right? Like
yeah, right.
and so I've been completely writing that. After seeing that game, I'm like, hey, like they aren't world beaters. Like Rocco Becht, I was like you said, he didn't play amazing. Like the stats weren't great, but he's a baller. Like he knows what he's doing. He's a gamer. He's gonna go out there and try and win the game. But that defense is not. It's not crazy, and which is hard to say because it was a defensive game and like Kansas State didn't have a ton. But yeah, I feel like it's gone from a sharpied L to like a G2 pen L. So we're
Yeah,
we're getting there, right? We're getting there.
totally.
Um,
Yep.
the Iowa State UNLV game was absolutely hilarious. I was just cackling watching that thing. Alex Orji with the fumble into the end zone. Ah, gift from the football gods. That was hilarious.
And then they pulled him, right? They were like,
Yep, and then
You're done."
yoink, the opposite of Elliott in our dynasty league. Like, hold on, let me make a change here. Except we're pulling Alex Orji out.
Yeah. Bad. Dan Mullen, I got on Twitter, and for those of you who don't know, Dan Mullen coached at Florida, um, and now he's at UNLV. I actually don't know what the story is. Why did he get let go from Florida? Do you remember?
Uh, because he only won 10 games for like 3 years in
Okay.
a row, and fans didn't like him because he only won 10 games in a row. So they fired him and hired Billy Napier, who
Uh,
is winning a lot more than 10 games a year, obviously.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. That's so great. Yeah, so he shows up back at UNLV as the coach. And all the Florida fans are like hopping on Twitter, which now makes it even more funny because he won at Florida and they were like, "This is what you get from
Right?
Dan Mullen. He doesn't win. He's not a winner." And now hearing that they like he couldn't win a national championship.
Right, right.
Yeah, see UNLV? He can't win. Nah, that game I really wanted Idaho State to pull it
Oh
out.
my gosh.
That was a
Uh,
fun FCS FBS game.
they had it. They were up a touchdown with the ball, and then two like They had two offensive plays: pick, UNLV scores, next play, pick, and then UNLV scores, and then it was game over. So,
Ugh, sad. But yeah, that was a
but
fun watch.
they did their job. I was hoping they'd just hold us over until the next set of games started, and they did. It was exciting, and then it was like, oh, this one's over, but the other games were starting. So that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that is good. That's
Any
great.
other
And
week
yeah,
zero takeaways?
just reiterating what you're saying about Stanford. Fun fact about Stanford is they scored their first running back rushing touchdown since the year 2023 this weekend. So they
That's
had not
insane.
scored a rushing touchdown with a running back since the year 2023. So my takeaway was, hey, they have a running game. Too bad they won't use it to win games.
That
So,
is, yeah. I'm not going to get into it again. But the fact that you score your first rushing touchdown with a running back in a year, more than 2 years, basically, right? A year and a half. That's bonkers, bonkers to me.
yeah,
Yeah,
that poor
Stanford,
program.
relegate them to freaking NAIA. They are unserious about playing the sport of football. Get them out of here.
And that may very well be the case.
But
Um,
yes,
yeah. Okay, so BYU plays this weekend. We haven't talked about that yet. Let's go.
we
Six
have a
o'clock
BYU
p.m.
game.
We have a
Yes.
BYU game. What do you think about it? What is your outlook?
Portland State lost to Tarleton State, top 10 FCS school. Okay, FCS. This is an FCS school that beat our opponent by 42 points. If BYU allows a touchdown, I will poop my pants. If BYU scores less than 63 points, I will poop my pants. This needs to be a complete obliteration. I don't care who plays. Obviously, I would like for Bear to play. You don't want a Jordan Travis situation where he gets injured because they're playing him late against an FCS school. Um, but also Jordan Travis, like they were like kind of in that game, if I remember correctly. Anyway, um, BYU should absolutely wipe the floor. I expect to be really excited for this game, see like maybe two explosive plays in the first quarter, and then be like, oh yeah, I'm going to flip over to LSU Clemson and just listen to this on the radio because this is boring as crap. Like, that's what I want out of this football game. I know that's not exciting, but that's what I want. I just want complete annihilation. I want it to be so boring that the stadium is empty at halftime. Like, this should be uninteresting football.
Because at 8:30, everybody with their kids is like, ah, okay, let's beat traffic. Let's go get home
Right? We got
early,
to hit
you
Chick-fil-A
know.
before it closes. Like,
Yep. Interesting. So I've been keeping an eye on our bets, right, for our pick'em game.
yes.
I'm gonna share some things about this. How many points will BYU score? I think Amelia predicted 31-17 for BYU.
If that happens, we are not playing the rest of the season.
Oh my gosh. 31-17. And then I think AJ predicted like 64-3. So we've
Much
got
better.
we've got all over the place, and it's really really great. AJ also thinks that our longest offensive play is going to go for 90 yards. So all about
I,
that.
I love that. If we're at our own 10-yard line, there's a problem. Okay?
This is
For any
true.
reason.
This is true. Oh man. Yeah, I expect nothing less. I have a little bit of battered fan syndrome, so I am actually preparing for the halftime score to be 13-0
If it
or
is,
13-3.
if it is, we have a massive problem, and you will hear a very different tone from us on the next episode.
Yeah. So we'll see. There's
We
so
shall
much
see.
unknown. We shall see, but I'm so excited. Even
Yeah.
though we won't be there this time. I'll be at Lake Powell. You'll obviously be in Georgia.
Yep.
Um, I'm so excited to flip on the TV and see BYU take the field again.
100%. 100%. I'm so in. Week one is here. Let's be honest, BYU game is like probably the least exciting game on the entire slate for any objective college football fan. Jessa, in the 10 minutes left we have on our Zoom free edition light version, with ads standard HD or standard definition, let's go through the days. Let's talk about all the games that we are excited for. We're not going to do picks because, let's be honest, no one has watched a single snap of football this year. How can we make picks? So we're just going to talk about the games that get us excited. each day of the week, and we'll tell you when and where to watch them. So let's just kick things off, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Start us
Okay.
off.
This is going to be a fun one, okay? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Boise State at South Florida is going to start at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
Seriously?
This on my computer screen, it is saying 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Boise State at South Florida, right? What a gift from the football gods,
This is such a gift. I
right?
totally didn't notice that. We're less than 24 hours away from,
Yes,
and that's a good game. So
that
tell
is
us
a
about it.
great game. That's it. So this is why I'm excited. Okay, South Florida is supposed to be one of the better teams in the American Conference. McKinley in our league is using USF and is currently undefeated. They have a quarterback, Byron Brown. He's tough. He's big. Also, what is Boise State without Ashton Genty? Everybody is picking Boise State. Literally everyone is picking Boise State to be the G5 representation in the playoff this year. How do we know they're going to be good? They do not have Ashton Genty. He was literally like 90% of their team last year. I'm really excited to watch that one. Again, 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time, ESPN on Thursday.
Yep. It'll be running back by committee. And yeah, I think USF is on the up and up. So that'll be a really interesting game. Another one that I have my eye on, I don't know a ton about either of the teams, except I know that they're in-state rivals, is Eastern Carolina. That's a BYU opponent versus
Yep.
NC State. And NC State is kind of this middle of the pack ACC team. Some years they're good, some years they're not so good. And
Yep.
ECU is kind of this, like they're kind of a freaky team a little bit
Yep.
because they recruit really, really well for being a G5 American Conference team. And so I think, I don't know, ECU, like that's not a game where I would say I would write off.
Uh,
And they're in-state rivals, so you never know.
right? 100%. I expect two fights, two
Love it.
brawls in this game. And if ECU wins this game, then BYU's schedule just got a lot more interesting because
Okay, yeah,
ECU is going to be, if they win this game, they'll be 3-0 going into the BYU game. And that's going to be a hornet's nest. So, Cougar fans, keep your eyes on this one.
I like that.
And that one, by the way, is on the ACC network at 5 p.m. Mountain on Thursday.
Okay. Perfect. These are all Thursday games. That's so exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The other one I'll talk about is Nebraska versus Cincinnati. Nebraska has a very interesting head coach, Matt Rule. Matt Rule has turned around, meaning rebuilt at least two FBS FBS, I think it's FBS. Anyways,
Yeah.
he's known for turning around losing teams and making them winning teams. He did it with
Yeah. He got
Baylor.
college game day to go to Temple, like, of all
Temple,
places.
that's the other one. Yes, so he turned around Baylor and Temple. And his biggest jump was between year 2 and year 3. And I believe we're year 2 and year 3. We might be 1 and 2. No, I think we're 2 and 3. We are 2 and
Yeah.
3. And so I think Nebraska is very interesting, but I also think Cincinnati, it's their second year now, or it's their third year in the Big 12, so they could be trending upwards also. That's another game
Yep.
to watch on Thursday. When is that one?
That one is at 9 p.m. Eastern, so 7 p.m. on ESPN. This is going to be kind of your like primetime nightcap, and it's at Arrowhead. And so, who knows? There may be a recently engaged couple that is at that game. Just so happens that an alumnus of their team is. Anyway, moving on to Friday. We got some bangers on Friday. Jessa, there's one that's very close to your heart as the stand-in for Biff Poggi as the head coach of the Charlotte 49ers. They play on Friday.
I'm gonna get really close to the mic as I say this. Charlotte is booty. They are so bad at football. They literally, I think they recruit. I don't know. The kids that play for the scout basketball team for the women. I think that's their football team in the nicest way possible. I know those guys are athletes actually, so that's not that much of a burn. But App State by about 40.
Yep. I'm with
Yep.
you. It is apparently a quote unquote rivalry. I tried to look up the name for the rivalry, and it says the App State Charlotte rivalry. So I actually don't
Okay.
know. Most real
Informative.
rivalries will have a name. Yes. That one's 7 p.m. ESPNU. I mean, I love a good G5 clash. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Um, speaking of P5 clash, or speaking of clashes, though, this one's P5. Georgia Tech, Colorado. This one's going to be at 8 p.m. on ESPN. This is a banger. You have Colorado, cancer-free Dion with no toes and no Shedeur Sanders, no Shiloh Sanders to get like a technical flagrant two, and no God's gift to football in the two snap dragon from the whatever his name is on the Jaguars, Travis Hunter. This is going to be awesome. Haynes King is a freaking baller. Georgia Tech. Honestly, I have no idea what their defense is going to be. It could be good. It could be bad. It was pretty good last year, but they have a new defensive coordinator. This is going to be a shootout, in my opinion. Caden Salter, Old Liberty quarterback, is starting for Colorado. He's a really good dual threat quarterback. Well, he's good on his legs. Not amazing through the air, but neither was Sure. So who knows? Maybe they won't throw the ball like 85% of snaps. Very excited for that game. That is going to be your nightcap, 8 p.m. on ESPN. But at the same time, as a game that you want to highlight as well. So we're going to have a little two screen.
This might be my favorite. Oh, this one might be my favorite game of the just because of the weekend, just because the probability of the SEC getting embarrassed by
Oh,
like a middle of the pack Big 12 team is highest in this game. Baylor returns a really good roster. Sawyer Robertson really their quarterback really like played really well at the end of the season. They ended on a 5 game winning streak to end the season last year. And Auburn is a joke of an SEC program right now. So
yes.
I'm really looking forward. And Baylor is their special blackout with the chrome helmets night. So it's going to be
Yes.
rocking in that stadium. And I hope they not silence, but they put Auburn in the ground early.
I also hope so. Just we have 2 minutes left. We're going to fly through the rest of these. Obviously,
Cool.
Texas at Ohio State Saturday. This is going to be the big noon on Fox. Double thumbs down. Ohio State better freaking win this game. That's all I'm going to say. Ohio State better freaking win this game. I'm so sick of hearing about Arch Manning.
Agreed. And I hope they have like 5 sacks.
Yep.
Um, Maybe a couple picks. Northwestern at Tulane. We get
Oh,
to see our boy Jake
Jakey.
ball out. Okay. We're not making predictions. But I think this could be a close game because Jake is a heart attack quarterback. But I'm just really excited to watch him play against a Power 5 opponent.
Yep. I really hope they make the playoff this year, and this is step one. Beat
Yeah.
Northwestern. Everybody else does it. You can too. Um, Next game I have really quick here: Utah UTEP at Utah State. This is a good one just because I mean Bronco Mendenhall. This is going to be on CBSSN at 5:30 p.m. in that kind of that primetime window. This is a great third screen game. Got Malachi Nelson for UTEP against Bronco and Boise State. It's just or Utah State. It's just going to be a good game. Just a good G5 matchup.
Yeah. Speaking of good games, LSU at Clemson is being talked about a lot. I would not be surprised if Clemson runs away with this game because I think LSU is fraudulent. But the quarterback matchup between Garrett Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik, by the big media, they're both saying those guys are going to win the Heisman. How do both of them win the Heisman? I don't know, but the media is saying that they're both going to win it. So that'll be an interesting game.
Yep, predetermined by the winner of this matchup. Really
Um,
quick here. The nightcap, Jessa, UCLA, Utah, or Utah, UCLA. I mean, come on now,
it's not DJ, but it's
Nico.
Nico Maliave versus Devin Dampier. Again, two Heisman winners, I guess. That's going to be awesome.
And back from the ad break that inadvertently cut us off. UCLA, you better freaking win, okay? You better do it. Listen to me, Nico. You shove all that cash up your butt and you freaking play your butt off, okay? Or else you're going back to freaking Tennessee, okay? Because nobody loves you unless you beat Utah. Um, Next game is going to be actually in the afternoon. Well, actually, let's start with this one. Let's start with Virginia Tech at South Carolina. One, I'm gonna be there, okay? So that's sick. But also, this could be an awesome upset of a team that is way overhyped by ESPN.
South Carolina.
Yes,
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully. I don't know if Virginia Tech has it in them. I'm really hoping.
Yeah. Lenora Sellers is the only exciting player on that. Oh, they have an edge rusher too. So they've got two players on that roster, but I'm with you. The rest of their roster really doesn't tell me anything to warrant the media hype. And Virginia
Yeah.
Tech is always a good time. So that'll be a fun game. That'll be a fun game. But yeah, the night afternoon game, is that what you're saying? On Sunday?
Yes. Yeah. Because yeah. So Sunday we have two games. They're
Okay.
both standalones. First one's going to be Virginia Tech at South Carolina. Second one is going to be Notre Dame at Miami. Classic Catholics playing on the Sabbath. Miami, just stop, okay? Carson Beck is a bad quarterback. He is not good. He's ugly as frick. Okay, so ugly, and he is not good at playing the sport of football. Okay, I don't care what anybody else tells you. Trust your eyes, not the media. I'm trusting my eyes, and they tell me that Carson Beck sucks booty nuggets. Okay, I am so out. Notre Dame. I'm interested to see how their freshman quarterback goes. CJ Carr should be really interesting. Could have been Jake Retzlaff once upon a time. So that'll be interesting. And like Miami isn't bad. I just think Carson Beck is not good. So I fully expect Notre Dame to win this game, but it could be an interesting watch.
Yeah, Miami lost all of their weapons, and then Notre Dame reloaded with weapons. Um,
Yes.
and I'm just now realizing that Keelan Marion is like wide receiver 2 or 3 for Miami. So my heart hurts a little bit because I love Keelan. But at the same time, sorry you have a donut of a human throwing you the football. Like, sorry about it.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. And
And also
finally,
we love Keelan.
we love
Sorry, one last
Keelan.
thing. We love
Yeah.
Keelan. If he's your like wide receiver 1 or 2, maybe you're not top 10 team. That's all I'm gonna say.
Maybe you have just as good a roster as BYU does. And what does that tell you?
Right, right.
What
That's
does that
what I'm
tell you?
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. Yep. Okay, finally, we end with a great matchup. TCU travels to UNC on Monday night, and it's the only game. Is that the only game on Monday night, right?
Yes.
Standalone. Um, TCU lost some offensive weapons, but they returned Josh Hoover. So, what is their offense going to be? What is their defense going to be? Just keep an eye out for that. UNC has a ton of new players. So, this is like two unknowns, but I'm excited to see how Bill Belichick coaches his first game. Like, what are the X's and O's going to look like? And then, who does Josh Hoover throw the ball to? I don't know. We'll see.
And that is a huge game for BYU down the season. And so if TCU ends up beating UNC and Bill Belichick, that's going to have a lot of clout to it. Deserve it or not, it will. And that's going to be really important for BYU because that's one of our last like 3 games, right?
Right.
Because we go Utah, Iowa State, by Texas Tech, TCU, and then Cincinnati and UCF to finish off. So that's like critical moment for the Cougars. It'll be really interesting to see what he does here. Bill Belichick first game. Sonny Dykes loves to chunk away his first games. Should be a really interesting one. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. Speaking of, we will find all of this information on your watch guide coming out.
Very true. That is
So
going to be
keep an
in the
eye out.
description of this video. Check it out down below. I'll also put it in the sports analyst chat for everybody in there. Yeah, check it out. It will have all this information, what times, who to watch, why to watch, little funny blurb about why Kyle Whittingham is the worst, etc.
Yep. And how this is the best team he's ever coached this year, in case
Yeah,
you didn't know.
yeah.
We're going to be back in championship contention. No. Okay, we're gonna do another ad break because I can pause the recording, and then we're gonna get our guest in here, which is
Sick.
AJ. I'm so
Let's
excited. So
go.
here we go. AJ, welcome.
Hello,
Welcome.
sister.
I know I
What's
was
up,
gonna
Jared?
do I was gonna do an introduction and be like, this is my sister, AJ. But then I remembered we have the best
They
following
are.
in the world, and they already know. They
It wouldn't
already
even
know.
matter because the minute we start talking, people are going to be able to tell.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Someone just turned the octave down 2 notches when they designed my voice. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is.
mhm.
AJ, welcome. Jared and I just got done previewing and doing like rapid fire about the
Sweet.
games of the week that everybody's talking about. And as you know, this is a BYU football and a college football podcast. So the first thing,
I am your most loyal listener.
Let's
You
go.
need no
yes.
introduction.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is true, actually. I think she might be the only one who's commented. She's the first one to comment. She's the first one to listen. So,
100%.
thank you,
I am
AJ.
your
We
East
appreciate it.
Coast audience. I am your in its entirety.
Well, yeah, audience, because our other audience member is like there in Georgia.
I'm a
So,
host.
Mhm.
um, yeah, the other host is in Georgia. Okay, AJ, I want to talk about something because I'm very curious. Obviously, like we grew up going to football games, BYU football games.
Mhm.
You as much as anybody else. In fact, you're on one of the tickets we just
I know.
discovered today.
I'm
I just
famous.
discovered.
I'm
So,
famous. It's
one of
this
the
arm, if you want to see it.
There you go. But I want to know, I feel like I have seen a shift in your love of the sport the last few years, from just following BYU football casually to like understanding what makes college football so great. So can you tell us like what did it for you? Like what was the turning
Well,
point?
I have to say, I am no expert, but what I lack in knowledge, I make up for in enthusiasm. So,
Yes.
well, let's see. I remember, so my first memories of college football, '06. This is when I fell in love with the sport, and you guys are all gonna remember. Jared and Jessa, I don't even know if you guys remember this, but I on grandma's little like fold out TV.
Oh yeah.
In the
Okay, so
kitchen?
me, Elliot, I think Steven was there too. Yeah, in the kitchen. We were watching BYU Utah game, '06.
Yep.
We're an 11-yard completion, Beck to Hardline. And I was like, this cannot be real. This cannot be real life. I just watched, I thought I was watching history unfold, like one of the biggest events, like better than any conquest or war, or whatever, right? And grandma pulled out these pots and pans and spoons, and we like literally ran up the street banging pots and pans. So I was like, oh, this is part of my identity now. This is what it means to be like, I am a call. Obviously my last name's Brown now, but that is like part of my identity. So anyway, and then I think my favorite part, I remember playing pickup football at the field, like doing tailgates, and that was just my favorite part, like everything football. But I still like when I feel a ball in my hands, I'm like I just get energized. There's like an energy that like surges through it. And thankfully, Elliot found me a really athletic husband that plays catch with me. So we
Thanks,
still do that.
Eli. Shout out to
Yeah.
Eli.
So, but anyway, yeah, but nowadays, what college football looks like in the Brow House, we watch game day religiously. It's like church. Like we kind of say we have two religions. Sundays are for church, Saturdays are for game day, you know.
Love it.
So Lucy knows it. My daughter Lucy, who's almost 6, she watches football. She just knows like it's part of the culture. Some people are like, well, I had kids, so I stopped watching football. It's like, no, it's just part of what we do. It's like going to church. It's about as important as going to church. So anyway, yeah, that's yeah, and we have teams that we love to hate watch. Um,
Oh, tell me a few of those.
Yeah, let's hear it.
well, I have to be careful because Brigham is about to go on the job market, and as you know, he's going to be interviewing at universities, and I will change my mind real quickly if a university gives Brigham a
Of
job.
course.
I'll be the biggest fan.
I don't
It
think
won't
you
be
need to
it won't be
worry.
BYU, but you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I love to hate watch Utah. I have so many feelings. I
A
It's the
little
most
like
important day of the year for me.
yeah. Oh, it's probably the day where my emotions run the most extreme, for sure. Like I'm not even joking. I'm not even
Yeah,
joking. All the stress in life, whatever.
yeah.
That
And you know
that
what
day
it
might
is?
take the cake.
I think sports satisfy the innate human need for war and conquest. I really do. I really think that if we didn't have sports, we would have no world. We would have no peace. We would just be killing each other. But we have sports. I really do. I really think so. And so it's like this you know, primal experience to root for your college football team. And I don't know, I don't think it can be the same in professional sports. I don't know why. Maybe you guys have thought through, but I don't know. But yeah, it's like a deep seated primal experience. Similar to like I would compare the intensity of the feelings to giving birth to my children. Like that
Ah!
primal, okay? That primal.
You heard
That's
it
how I
here
feel.
first, everybody.
That's how I feel about the BYU Utah game. Intense
So,
emotions, man.
well, I first off, I 100% agree with you. It's just legalized violence, and it's
Yeah.
amazing. And being part of that world, like it is. I've obviously never been to war, but there's got to be the closest thing to it. Like you see these guys preparing, and the mindset as they come out of the tunnel, and it's like they are out there to put their bodies on the line for each other. Like they are going to go full tilt, running into other human beings as hard as possible, trying to inflict physical violence on them to move a ball across the line. Like that is as primal as it gets.
Yeah.
Um, but I want to ask you about your feelings towards Utah. Where do you think those feelings have stemmed from? Where does that primal
Wow.
hatred come from?
I I think this is a war of good and evil. It is the holy war, Jared.
It is.
And the things that have been said between BYU and Utah, I mean, yeah, it goes back. This is a historical war. I think it's the most underappreciated rivalry in all of college sports. Okay.
I
I would
agree.
agree.
We live in Duke UNC territory, right?
In the heart.
And yes, in the heart of it. And I remember telling Brigham one of the first Duke UNC games that we got to watch and like have an actual, investment in one of the teams. I remember saying, "Thank you so much for coming to North Carolina so I can experience like the greatest rivalry in sports." I take that back. I think we have experienced our whole lives the best rivalry in sports. I love it. I think there's this deep-seated like cultural, conflict, which, my first greenie on my mission was a Utah fan. She's amazing. I love her, but we still have this like, stuff going back and forth. But it's this like, you have obviously the church aspect of BYU, and then you have Utah who like just thinks that BYU is all these self-righteous punks, right? So you have this like cultural clash here, and it's just so fun. I just love how complex it is, and I love it. And
And
yeah, it's amazing.
and there's no professional football teams,
No.
right? And here's the other thing too, is like, yeah, we have the Jazz, but I don't feel NBA engagement is nowhere near football engagement, period. And
Hmm.
so all of the energy is put into these two rivalries, and also the two teams have played a huge role in this sport. College football has seen two major shifts in their playoff format. One, when BYU won the national championship in 1994 or 1984. Wow. Edit that, editor. Um, and then second in 2000, what was it? Was it 2000 or was it 2008? When BCS, when they did away with, or they instituted BCS or something with Utah going undefeated, and they said, uh-oh, these little guys are getting too good again, right? So two times where these two programs have been little guys, quote, quote, right? That have shaken things up and have fought each other. So I agree. I think it's an underrated rivalry for sure.
100%. I mean,
Yeah,
growing up a fan of the Ohio State, and everyone says that the Ohio State Michigan game is
it's a
like
good
the
one.
biggest, it's the most heated rivalry in all of college sports. But for like the vitriol and like the deep seated like Ohio State and Michigan, they just like hate each other, but it feels like there's something deeper when it comes to BYU and Utah. It feels like it's not just like I want to beat your team. It's like this sense of like if I beat your team, like I triumph over evil, like you were saying, AJ. Like it's something more.
Exactly.
It's deeper. It's almost like a spiritual nirvana that you arrive at when you beat the other team. It's not just yes, we beat our rival and I hate them. It's like oh my gosh, am I being translated? Like it's very different.
It is. And I think because people, like you said, the religious aspect of it, I mean, that gets to the root of what you value as a human being. That gets to the root of your identity as a human being, right? And so when we lose to Utah, part of me feels like evil won that day, right?
Yes.
Because
Well,
Yeah,
and
what
here,
I value, tradition, spirit, honor, did not triumph. We are
yes.
under
Well, and it's
siege.
not because like there are more faithful people on the BYU side of the camp than the Utah camp. Who knows? We may be the deplorables. Who knows? But the point is that BYU represents something that we all feel is, important in the mission of the school, the university. So it really does feel like this war of good and evil. the Holy
Yeah.
War, you know? It
Yeah.
really does feel that way.
Yep.
So,
The name should
and
never
it's
change.
almost like Utah. Okay, this is kind of this may be controversial, but it almost feels like Utah fans have to kind of check their religion on game day to fight the Lord's University. Okay. And it's okay. We all have moments where we just kind of, take the pin off for a minute. We all have moments, but this is the date when the Utah fans do that, and so this is it is a representative of good and evil in the most physical, real war like, scenario that we have today, which is so exciting and so fun. But it does mean something. And so when people come to Utah and they're like, what is up with this BYU Utah rivalry? Like they just don't understand that this is so much deeper than sports.
Yeah.
100%. I get asked at work all the time, like, oh, so like, who's your team growing up? Like, were you guys just Broncos fans? Or are you Raiders fans now? I'm like, not gonna lie, we did not watch a lick of NFL football growing up. It was BYU or Utah, and that was it. You are on one side or you're on the other, and that is all that matters.
And part of it, I think, too, is like we're fighting over territory. Like we share a state, You have like Auburn, Alabama, but that's not as, I don't know. Maybe it's the same over there, but like to have two really decent football teams in the same conference, in the same state, kind of fighting for, the title of the best program in the state. You're fighting over recruiting, in the
Right?
state. You're fighting over so much stuff. So, and I'm sure it affects the bottom line of enrollment too. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
sure sports do that too. So, yeah, there's a lot on the line there. Like, there's a lot of money on the line, clout on the line. We could talk
Yep.
about this forever, but
We really
yeah.
could. The last thing I'll say, you brought up Auburn, Alabama, which I would say they hate each other, but they hate each other because they're not very educated. They don't know. They don't know anything but eat, sleep, hate Alabama. Eat, sleep, hate Auburn. That's all they know in the South. Um, they are 85. They're 85 miles away from each other, the two campuses, right? BYU and Utah are BYU and how far?
41.
You could
41 miles?
basically spit on Utah from Provo.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. AJ,
Yep.
we might have you back on Holy
Oh,
War Week.
yes, I
We
have
will we'll have to now.
Yeah. Don't
I
spoil
have
it.
a,
Don't spoil
I
it.
won't, but we'll get into like the cultural and historical significance of the Holy War.
Good.
It's
Awesome.
gonna be good.
It's I love it. I love it. I mean, we could talk about the Holy War all day. I mean, we could talk about how both sides have an inferiority complex and both sides have a
Yeah.
superiority complex.
Hmm.
It's very deep. It's very good. But if we go a little bit bigger picture now, obviously, if we beat Utah, successful season. Okay, but if we
Yep.
take the Utah game out of it, what is your outlook for BYU football this year? I mean, obviously, we're all behind Bear right now, but AJ, where do you stand on the 2025 BYU football team?
Yeah. Okay. As soon as the whole Jake stuff went down, I like went as far as to post on LinkedIn to my few thousand LinkedIn followers that I wanted Bear. This was like months ago, you know.
Wow.
And so I like to say I don't believe in the whole manifesting thing, but I did. I did. You know. So I'm really excited about Bear. I think this year will be a building year in a sense. What I'm hoping for is just a lot of fun, explosive, exciting plays. I think he's going to throw a lot of picks. If I'm wrong about that, great. Great. But I'd be fine with like 5 wins this season. I know that sounds crazy. Like I'd be fine with 1 win as long as we beat Utah.
As long as it's
But
Utah.
yeah, but no, we'll beat Portland State, we'll beat Stanford unless something crazy goes wrong. And to be honest, if things are going to go wrong, that's probably when we want them to go wrong, so we can
Sure.
adjust earlier in the season. I don't know, but anyway, I'm just excited. I don't have any huge high expectations of getting to the Big 12 championship game this season. It would be such a delight, but if we lose 3 early games, I'm not going to be devastated. I'm just going to be rooting for Bear and just really excited that at the trajectory, if we can see improvement from him game over game, and if he ends the season better than, he starts like significantly better, I think that's going to be really exciting. Because I want BYU to be like I want us to be the next Georgia, and to do
Mhm.
that, I think we need to build momentum and I think if Bear does really well this year, rookie season or freshman year, and then, can build the momentum until we get Ryder and some of these other 4 or 5 stars in, I think it's really good for the program. So I have a long-term outlook on this. I think the momentum's really exciting, and I just want some really fun highlight plays. And then the defense is going to be so fun to watch. I think the defense is going to be, and Keanu, and that just throws heat on the BYU Utah fire.
Yes.
It's like, anyway, long-winded answer, but I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I think that's a great outlook. That's a very healthy outlook to have. We're gonna win the first 2 games, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, we're going undefeated. That's it. We have no weaknesses. So I'll remember this conversation when that inevitably does happen. But speaking of AJ might be, and I'm not putting anybody down by saying this because everybody in the Call family is so much fun to watch BYU football games with. AJ might be the funnest person to watch BYU football games with. Just
I don't
because of
think you
how
could give me a better compliment.
there you go. There it is,
Wow.
H. There it is. Because like I get frustrated. We all get frustrated, right? But AJ's the one, she's not annoying about it, but she's like, I'm feeling a pick coming on. I'm feeling a fumble coming on. I'm feeling a touchdown. We're going to score this series. You know what I'm saying? And 8 times out of 10, it actually happens. Just
Yeah,
because
I have
the
power.
vibes are there.
If I'm
You
not
do.
watching a game, Jessa will call me and she'll say, AJ, are you watching the game? And I'm like, oh no, I'm out on a walk with my kid. She's like, you need to go watch because when you watch, good things happen. You need
Yeah.
to go watch. So, and then as soon as I start watching,
Good things happen.
magic starts to happen.
Good
We know
things
the magic
happen.
button to press now.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. H,
You
that's
got to press the
awesome.
AJ button.
hmm Oh, I
Absolutely
think.
incredible.
Go ahead, Jared.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, maybe taking it in a different direction here. You guys in the heart of UNC territory, lots of storylines about UNC in this
Oh
offseason.
yeah.
A great deal. I mean, just give us the inside scoop. What is going on? What is the outlook? What is the vibe? What are the vibes in Chapel Hill right now?
I think there's just a ton of unknowns. It's like, okay, the ceiling could be so high, you know, controversy and, kind of scandalous storylines are, exciting, but yeah, we just don't know. I think I think the ceiling is really high. What did Jordan say? The ceiling
The
is the roof.
ceiling is the roof. Yeah.
Whoa, yeah. The ceiling is the roof with Belichick. How do you say his name?
Yeah, that's right.
Belichick. Belichick. Yeah, the ceiling is the roof. Brigham and everyone was super excited when he first when we found out he was our new coach. Um, it was Mac Brown, right? Is that his name? I always get that was
Yeah.
our coach before. That's his name. But it seemed like he was just starting to kind of tire out and he was there just to help the boys and mentor the boys and the school wanted, more hard charging wins and yeah, so I think I'm excited. I think it'll be a fun team to watch. And then I'm hoping for more like controversy. I'm a total sucker for drama. I love other people's drama. So, yeah, and the whole Texas thing right now, like I'm kind of excited to see what, you know, all the hype around Texas. Like Texas is one where part of me really wants to see them finally succeed. Like finally,
What do
and
you
part of
mean?
them is like, I would love to see them fall at the same time. Like the
Yeah.
hype is too much. So I'm
What
kind
is
of like
succeed?
open, succeed, like
Like win a
finally
natty?
maybe win games. Like, or like, yeah, I don't know. Texas, I feel like every season, Texas is like, they spend the most, they have the most money, they have all the oil money, they have such a huge, obnoxious fan base, right? I mean, it's Texas for crying out loud. And they just like are never as good as what they should be based on
Yeah.
like the numbers, like you know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of like that really talented kid that like just could never get his crap together, like didn't show up to the really smart kid that didn't ever show up to class, so he like kind of never got good grades and, whatever, that's kind of Texas. They like just don't show up when they need to. So I
Got it.
100%.
want to be a Texas fan in a way, but at the same time, it's like I kind of like seeing people overhyped fall, in some not very Christ-like way. So
Totally. It's that underdog
what do you
complex,
guys think
right?
about Texas?
Oh,
What do you
Jared,
think?
what do you think about Texas, specifically their quarterback?
I just there's no way that he is going to be as good as they're saying he is. There's no way. And like, when was the last time like Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow was the last time that there was a quarterback that was as good as the hype. But
Yeah.
every single year since then, there's been somebody hyped as this player, right? Like Bryce Young was that guy. CJ Stroud was that guy for the Buckeyes. Like, and they never
Mhm.
like Joe Burrow was the only guy that I can remember, maybe since like Cam Newton, that lived up to the hype, and that I don't see it with him. I stand, I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I don't understand it.
And I feel like all of them played more games before the hype really started.
100%.
But yeah, there's just no, maybe they're seeing something in practice that's just insane.
No, they're not. Isn't
But
that
yeah,
crazy? I had the same thought. Nope. Camp. In fact, Texas offense struggled just like everybody else does early in camp. And so they're looking like a regular offense is what I'm hearing. He's
there's
good,
going to be a lot of pressure.
obviously, but yeah, there is. There's going to be a ton of
Yeah.
pressure.
And I find, and I remember this when I played sports, the teams that have the most to lose oftentimes feel the most pressure. And, that's just an added resistance.
Mhm.
Like was it a couple years ago? This is basketball, but when UNC ended Duke's run in the was it
In
the
the Final Four,
It was the Final
in the
Four.
Coach
Final
K's
Four?
last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Coach K's last season. It was like Duke had so much to play for. It's like this Coach K's last season, and UNC is like, okay, whatever. And they went out and so it'll be interesting to see if something like that happens with Texas. Are there any other teams that are kind of like that are being super hyped? Or is Texas kind of the only one?
I would say Texas is the biggest one. I would also add Florida to the list as being they're in that tier of being like they're going to be really really good this year without having anything to prove it. Their quarterback DJ Lagway is just constantly injured. He's played like 2.5 games like completely healthy over the last couple of years, and in those 2.5 games he looks really good, but their team never like wins enough games to become bowl eligible, and he's never healthy. And yet people this year are saying, "Oh, he is going to be healthy. The team is going to mesh around him." I just again, there's no evidence to say that that is going to be true.
And he's
And
injured
I wonder
now.
how much of this,
Yeah,
yeah, I wonder how much of this is just like money. Like I always want to follow the money with this stuff. Like maybe like Texas has a really big engaging fan base, and so they want to like, create content and drive traffic. I don't know what it would be. I don't know. Or people are just really stoked, just want a storyline to believe in and get excited about. I don't know.
I mean, I
But
would definitely say it's both of them, but again, I'm like number one college football conspiracy theorist, but
yeah,
it just so happens that the worldwide leader in sports, the number one college football sports media entity is ESPN, who owns the SEC, and so therefore every dollar that the SEC makes is going into ESPN's pockets. So the more they can hype up Texas, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, like all those teams are the more people watch because of the hype, the more money ESPN gets for people watching their teams. Again, conspiracy theorist
that's
1A is
conspiracy
me.
fact, Jared. There's no conspiracy there. My goodness. I didn't know that. I didn't know that ESPN owns the SEC.
Yeah,
Oh my
the
gosh.
all of SEC like SEC's big huge media rights deal, all of that money comes from ESPN.
And
Yep.
is it true that Disney owns ESPN now?
Accurate.
Correct.
Oh my gosh. This is like a deep state, but it's sports, guys.
100%.
Yep.
Oh, we must drain the swamp.
Yep. Yep. Oh man, it's wild. It's wild. The more you hear about it, the more you're exactly right, AJ. You're like, they're not even hiding it. They are not even hiding it, and people are just eating it up. So it's interesting.
Shameless
Wow.
plug all the time.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, guys, do you
Do
want to
we
play a
play
game?
any SEC teams this
Not this
This
season?
year.
year.
Not
Not
this
this
year.
year.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually don't know if we do in the next few years.
Yeah, I think we might play Missouri coming up in the
We
future.
do.
I don't
We
know.
do.
I'll look that up while you introduce our end segment, Jessa.
Okay,
Our
cool.
fun
We're
little
gonna
game
play
we
a game.
have.
AJ, go ahead and pull up the college football schedule. That'll help you play this game for this weekend. So if you go to ESPN and then you go to scores and schedules in the NCAA football tab, pull up those because we're gonna play a game. I've not named it yet, but it's called Guess the Matchup right now. Okay? So I'm going to tell you three facts about two teams that are playing this weekend, but I'm not going to tell you which teams they are. Everybody play along, too. Listeners, play along. Based solely on the facts, can you guess what matchup this is? So does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so this first one is going to be an early weekend game. So it's on Thursday or Friday. That's the clue I'll give you. And
Okay.
here we go. Team one. This team is coming off of a college football playoff appearance, and they start the year ranked. They lost a play. This is number two. They lost a player to the NFL who accounted for 49% of their offensive
Boise
production.
State, South Florida.
Hey, you got
Oh,
it!
let's go. That was so
Well
fast.
done. Well done. That was so fast. Okay, now I'm going to tell you some facts about USF, their opponent. Okay.
We have to get to
Uh,
him.
yeah, exactly. This team's quarterback returns from injury after a 2023 season with over 3,200 passing yards and nearly 800 rushing yards. That's 4,000 total yards of offense, and he was injured last year. So, could be poised for a pretty dang good season. We'll see. Their schedule opens brutally. They play 3 straight games against ranked
Oof.
opponents, and they're
Oof.
playing under the lights in an NFL stadium in front of their home crowd. The
Of
Tampa
course, Raymond
Bay,
James,
yep,
the,
Buccaneers
the
Stadium.
enemy.
So, AJ, well done.
Someday I hope we have one of us wins the lottery or something so that we can just go fly around and watch all these games live. Like any game every Saturday. Just watch the game live. That's gonna
That
be
would
a
be
good day.
incredible.
Okay.
That's the dream. Okay, you ready for matchup number two?
Hmm.
All right, I'm not gonna tell you when this game was. Too easy. Okay. All right. Team number one. This team's offense ranked among the nation's top 20 in total offense and scoring offense in 2024. This team's QB is the nation's leading returning QBR. And their athletic director is the chair of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. So
Public
that's
enemy
team
number
number
one.
one. Yep, public enemy number one for sure. Okay. Now the team they are playing. This team enters the season under a coach in year 3. So this is the coach's third year of the program, and they're looking to rebound from a losing season in a power conference. Their starting QB, this one's interesting. Their starting QB is an SEC transfer, though it's rumored this team could field up to 3 quarterbacks in this game and have 3 different coaches calling offensive plays. Jared, did you get it off of that one?
I That one gave it away for me.
Okay. And then the last one, they recently announced claiming several additional historical national titles. So they say we won the Natty that year, triggering a wave of memes and mockery online. Any ideas, H? Any guesses?
Is it LSU Clemson?
Close. Wow,
Very
how did you know that
close.
one of these teams was an SEC team? This is Baylor at Auburn. Baylor's the first team, Auburn
Ooh,
is the second team.
which team is claiming national titles?
Auburn.
Auburn.
Oh, wow.
Yep. In the 1900s, they're like, there were 2 national championships this year, and I know you recognize them as the national champion, but we actually are the national champion.
Okay.
That's the vibe. So Auburn's a joke of a program, guys.
Didn't like UCF do that at one time? UCF
Yeah.
did that, right?
It's the same kind of thing.
2017. Yeah.
So did Utah,
Yeah.
apparently, but they weren't very loud about it. 2008. Okay. This one's a fun one. This is our last one for this game. Team number one. This program is undergoing an all-in transformation backed by institutional investment and positioned as a national statement school. If you know who this is, don't say anything yet. Okay? They brought in a staggering 70 new players, combining 41 transfers with 30 high school recruits. So they have 70 new players on the roster.
Out of
And then,
105 scholarship players.
yes, yes.
That's
Um,
crazy.
this head coach's personal relationships are a hot topic online these days. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the second one so we get through it. Fans, this is team number 2. Fans are backing their QB and safety as the team's most valuable players. Their QB is a dark horse for the Heisman. This next one just cracks me up. A satirical post claiming QB revealed he was attending a furry convention went viral. Yes, you heard that correctly. A furry convention, sparking a frenzy of memes and disbelief before being revealed as a hoax. Everybody thought this QB was a furry for a straight week. And then number 3, they are one of only 2 teams alongside Baylor to play 11 Power 4 conference opponents this year, and they sit at 6th overall in strength of schedule. Can you guess the matchup? You should get this one, AJ.
Will you tell me which quarter of the country they are in?
The first team is in your quarter of the country.
And the second?
And the second is in Texas. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, Age.
Is it SMU?
Nope, it's TCU versus UNC.
It's all making
Is
sense
UNC
now.
the one?
No, that's TCU.
Whole...
Oh, yeah, UNC is the one who's rebuilt their whole roster.
Okay, I want to know which institutional investor came in. I'm so fascinated by how that all works. I don't know. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
That is wild. So who's
I
the
know.
furry?
The furry is Josh Hoover. He's not a furry. It was a meme, but it went viral. People thought he was at a furry convention. It was awesome for that week. It was so funny on Twitter.
So awesome.
So I hope you enjoyed. We're at less than a minute, so we might get cut off here. AJ, thank you for joining us. This was really, really fun.
Guys, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me run my mouth past my bedtime.
Of course.
This was awesome. Like just said, we're gonna get cut off any second. But AJ, thank you so much for joining us. We will definitely have you back on during the Holy War week because we need more.
Yes. Okay, I will be there. Thank you guys so much.